fact, Legal Switch is drawn alongside of Red Tave. Fear of Heights. Now they're set. They're away, a good level start, and Heavenly Eclipse out wide, jumped out very quickly. Current Love down towards the inside is showing speed, and also Legal Switches driving through there. Broken Hearts and Truly Dazzling not too far away. Now Red Tave is getting right up along the inside. It'll be just behind the leading division, back behind those Tamalina. Then Miami Mistress and Forget About Bad Lady as they settle down and race up towards the 600. Legal Switch is the leader now, doing it well. A length in front of Heavenly Eclipse. Truly Dazzling is wide. Red Tave is down towards the inside, and not too far away as they race towards the turn. Broken Hearts followed by Current Love and mopped up in that group of horses. Back behind those Miami Mistress followed by Fear of Heights. Tamalina well back and Bad Ladies along last into the straight. They've got about 300 to go. Legal Switch is the leader. Legal Switch leads now into the clear. Red Tave is coming quickly and Broken Hearts on the outside, but still it's Legal Switch the leader. Red Tave is coming with a rush now with 100 to go. Red Tave goes up on the outside of Legal Switch. Put the head in front and Red Tave on the line has beaten Legal Switch, close for third. Broken Hearts or Current Love, then Miami Mistress followed by Heavenly Eclipse, then Fear of Heights. A break behind those Truly Dazzling followed by Tamalina Bad Lady and mopped up one of the last across the line. Kevin Moses at his very best on Red Tave. Well, Legal Switch battled on fairly strongly, but it took all of the vigour of Kevin Moses to get the favourite, and he did just that. 296. Number 2, the winner, Red Tave, ridden by Kevin Moses, trained at Kembla Grange by Col Branthwaite. A Bay Filly 3 by Red Bletch out of Norgwin Kate. Is raced by TP and Mrs G Foster, BR and Mrs MH McInnes in partnership. Red Tave is the winner from 9. Legal Switch, trained by Barbara Joseph at Bombala, John Scorse. A Chestnut Colt 3 by Switch in Time out of Fessinge. And third, number 6, Current Love. A brown mare 4 by French Current out of Jill Zamore, Amanda Langler, Matthew Carl. So those numbers are official on the 4th, 296, 59.09 the time. Now that winner Red Tave, 241.30, 9 Legal Switch $1.60 and 6 Current Love $1.80. 296, we'll have more from the track in just a moment.
Righto, Tony.
He's been a little bit frustrating for punters, I guess. He started to favourite about four times in a row now, maybe 5 after today, and he's very close to win. He just keeps running into one a little bit too good for him, and they just got him right on the line, yeah.
All right, Johnny, well, you've got a pretty good book of rides here today. I know that you're riding Tayuakan in race number 5, which is the Thunderbolt, and this horse has won $101,000 worth of prize money. We do know his form. What sort of chance is he today in this race?
Well, he's always a chance to Tayuakan. He's been a very consistent horse around this area, and you know, with a limit weight of 53, he's always going to be close to the lead, so he'd be right in the race for a long time. I don't know whether he can put it with Aussie Cozzy. I think she's quite well weighted, but stranger things have happened.
Yeah, she's come up pretty short on the toe to Aussie Cozzy at about $1.10. Yeah, pretty short, isn't it? Okay, well, listen, John, what else have you got this afternoon? You've got this Sun Region, of course, in race number 6, which is the Invitation.
Yes, I've never ridden this one before either, but last start scored a very smart win here by 4 or 5 lengths, I think, from memory, and before that she was travelled about a bit. I think the trainer said it took a few runs to get her in trim, but she sure broke through in good form last start with a very strong win, and she's drawn quite well, so I'd expect she'd be in the race for a long way as well.
Maybe 2 on in for that horse. Now, Slick Chick, of course, it's running, of course, in race number 7.
Yes, good chance this one. I think one of my better rides for the day, Slick Chick, and although she's drawn wide out, last start she won really well at her first run at the track, and horses that master the track are very good horses to follow.
What would you like to be on in the Cup, Johnny, if you had a chance to get a mount?
I thought Dance Till Dawn would probably run a really good race. I noticed his last run in Sydney in the wet, he really got away to a big lead. I don't know if that was the plan. I know he always leads, but he really got a long way in front the other day, and of course he capitulated the last little bit, but I would have thought that might have fitted him, and this is a good front running type of track, this track, so I would have thought at odds he'd be a good chance.
Where are you doing most of your riding now, John? For Barbara, is it?
Yeah, for Barbara and freelance when I can. Generally around here, and travel when they're good enough.
It's always good to talk to you, mate, and you never know what might be around the corner. Might be another Placid Arc, who knows?
Well, we've proved it in the past, so you never know.
Good to see you again, mate.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Johnny. Johnny Scorse there, and he's one of the fine jockeys that are in this area for today's Queanbeyan Cup. Right, Matt, back to you.
All right, thank you for that, Nick. We've just received some very important news through from the AJC. The AJC stewards have exonerated jockey Jim Cassidy following a very lengthy inquiry into his ride on My Cliffhanger at Rosehill Gardens last Saturday. The stewards panel accepted the jockey's explanation for the reason that he allowed My Cliffhanger to get so far back into the race and in the middle stages of the race, and so Jim has been exonerated, or more or less acquitted. He's been let off completely. No fines, no suspensions, and that inquiry, to Jim's relief, is all over now. OK, so that's good news for Jim Cassidy, and because he does have some very good rides tomorrow, including King Ivor in the Australian Guineas. But just repeating that only came through 30 seconds ago that AJC stewards have exonerated Jim Cassidy. Now, we've got some bad news for greyhound fans who are planning to have a bet at the Richmond Greyhounds tonight. You'll have to look elsewhere, because Richmond Greyhounds tonight have been abandoned due to inclement weather and the state of the track. In fact...
And you might notice that I'm sporting this magnificent tie here. This is the new tie for the Canberra Black Opal tie for 1997, and I'm very proud to wear that. It's a beauty. Ray Alexander, the Chief Executive Officer of Canberra, is with me right now. It's always good to catch up with Ray. How are you?
Very well, Nick, thanks.
Thanks for the tie.
Oh, it's great. It looks well on you.
It's a beauty, isn't it? Yeah. Well, the 25th year running, of course, of the Black Opal. That's it's a time-honoured race now, isn't it? And something we always look forward to at this time of the year.
Yes, it's a race that's built up a lot of tradition in that short span, Nick, and we're trying to celebrate it in a special way by inviting back some of the celebrities who've been associated with the race.
Who would they be?
Well, we've got Bob Hoysted coming, the famed trainer of Menikato. He trained Spirit of Kingston, a Black Opal winner. We've got the three jockeys who fought out the finish of the inaugural Black Opal in 1973. Chris William, who won on Rich Reward, Ted Doon, who finished second, and Kevin Langby, 4 times Premier Sydney jockey, who finished third. So they're all looking forward to meeting up with one another again.
What's Kevin doing now?
Kevin's driving buses.
Is that right?
Yes.
Incredible. All right, well, it'll be a great association to get those three there, because... well, Kevin Langby, as you mentioned, was one of the heroes back in 1970, wasn't he?
He was a wonderful jockey. He rode Demagil, who won one of the most famous ever AJC derbies.
Yeah. Now, Canberra, the racecourse, the facilities there are looking better than ever before too.
Yeah, they really are. The track's in tip-top order. We had a splendid Black Opal preview and Guineas meeting last Sunday, and if that's any criterion, we're going to have a super Black Opal.
People are going to the races in Canberra on Sundays, aren't they?
They are, yes, and what pleased us last Sunday was that our local ACTAB, local TAB, held 44% of its turnover last Sunday on our races, twice as much as on Sydney and Melbourne races, which is very encouraging.
You were Chief Executive Officer of the Macau Racing Club. Tell us a bit about Macau. Did you enjoy it?
Well, it was interesting but frustrating, and Nick, let me say that I couldn't achieve what I set out to achieve through interference in management, but the experience was great.
What about Australian racing in comparison to racing across the world? You've seen plenty of it. How do we rate?
Australian racing's right up there with the best in the world. I've seen racing in France, the United States, Turkey, England, most places. Yeah, we'd hold our own anyway.
What memory, particularly of a racehorse, have you got? You've seen a lot of them across the world. Who'd be your favourite racehorse? Somebody like Imagil?
Tulloch was my favourite. Yes, I saw him from his 2-year-old days when he raced against Todman in the Champagne Stakes and the Size Produce, and they won one each, and then saw him suffer the dreadful illness and then make the marvellous comeback. Yeah, I don't think I've seen a better horse than Tulloch.
You must write a book one day, Ray.
I intend to.
Good on you. Now listen, what about the Cup this afternoon? Have you had any thoughts? Maybe Arcady for Shane Dye?
Arcady will be very hard to beat. He's a class horse, but I thought I saw a horse run a good race at Rosehill last Saturday, Isinglass.
Yeah.
I think he might be the danger.
Dale Spriggs, of course, the local jockey who knows every blade of grass. Now listen, when's the Black Opal on?
It's on Sunday fortnight, March the 2nd. Great day.
We'll see you there, and thanks for joining us on Sky today, Ray.
Thanks, Nick.
Good to see you again. There is Ray Alexander, of course, and Ray very much part of what's happening at the Canberra Racing Club. They have got their big Black Opal in a couple of weeks' time. Now, Colac Race 5's not far away, so let's take it there for the Big Oscar Class 2 handicap.
They've been running on the first 4 races, have led stewards to think that it's worthy of an upgrade to good. So Queanbeyan is moved up to good from the original assessment of dead, which is good news. The Cup is about 2 hours away. The next event there, Aussie Cozzy is 120. He's a bull, $5.10. Then 20 Roll On By, Bridal Path 14, Daring Lads 100, Tehua Can 23, and Young Zika at 100 to 1. So Aussie Cozzy 120 is all the rage for the 5th. And Tony likes Aussie Cozzy. In fact, he's made it a special to beat He's a Bull and Tay Queanbeyan for third, 2-3-7, and Rod's late mail, Aussie Cozzy. It is race 5, number 2. That's for the next event. They'll go quick in that. The Thunderbolt Open handicap over 1,000 metres. While we're talking about Queanbeyan, let's return to the track. Here's Nick.
Yeah, good on you. Thanks, Matt. And talking to Australia's top hoop, and that is Shane Dye. He's with me right now. G'day, Shane. Good to see you.
Very well. Lovely day.
Perfect, isn't it? You had to travel from Sydney today, and of course a little bit of rain in the Sydney area, but it breaks up, and then when we get down here, there's nothing on.
I live in Stratfield. It was spitting, and then our next suburb's Burwood. It was pouring with rain, and then the next suburb was Canterbury, and it was fine. So it's very scattered.
I think if we won the toss, we'd have to bat. Get the runs on the board.
I'd prefer to watch.
Okay. Well, listen, you're not watching this afternoon because you're very heavily involved in the Queanbeyan City Cup for Carlton. Arcadia, of course, is your mount for the race this afternoon. Past two, I wonder if it's past 2 starts at Rosa was a beauty in the Underwood.
Yeah, I think he's a very good horse in the making. He's a lovely stayer. He's a lovely looking horse. He's going to get back a bit today, as he normally does, because there's a lot of pace in this race. Horses like Dance Till Dawn, and certainly he'll go forward, and he's a good bloke. He's got a ton of pace. So
got a good sprint though, Arcadia. Very good sprint.
Oh, when he picks them up, it takes him a furlong to get going. He really does come quick.
Yeah. All right, main dangers, I guess. So you've mentioned a couple, Dance Till Dawn. Maybe Isinglass too, trained in New Zealand?
I thought Isinglass run was very, very good last start behind Arcadia.
Yeah.
Never had a lot of luck. Probably the one to beat.
You're probably the best form student that I know of a jockey, and looking at some of these 2-year-olds, we're looking at the big races coming up for them. I heard you on the radio the other day mention about some of these 2-year-olds. They're not coming up week after week after week like they have in the past, have they? There's no outstanding 2-year-old right now.
There's not one. Normally you get one that wins 3 or 4 on end. There hasn't been one. Whether Sherbet can do it is yet to be seen. But horses like Knowledge and Scandinavia, they look very, very smart. Then they come out and run again and got beat. And there's not a 2-year-old in Sydney that's dominated yet. But you got Encounter, who's running tomorrow, who's had the 1 start in the Breeders and won. So be interesting to see how they go tomorrow.
Yes, you're not going to you're not set out on General Nadim yet, but you got to see the horse race again, don't you?
Well, same as Guinness. His wins have been.
He's done everything right, hasn't he?
He's done everything right, and he's on par with General Needham. If you want to take a line through Special Dane running second, they haven't been beat, so you can't knock them. But you want to see them racing in Sydney before you want to be tipping them to win Golden Slippers.
What about Nothing Like a Dane tomorrow at Warwick Farm?
He's going lovely. There's nothing wrong with him. He looks good. He's working.
He improved his track work at all?
Well, he's faultless. His work's been very, very good. It's going to be interesting to see how he races.
He's always been a little bit tardy, hasn't he, according to you, as far as track work's been concerned?
He's not a very good worker because he's so lazy. He's a lovely Dane who'll colt, and most of them are lazy.
All right, and of course, it's going to be a big day tomorrow with Ebony Grove as well in the Hobartville.
Probably a bit short from the 1,400 metres. He's been prepared for a derby, and he's a lovely horse. He's come back very, very strong. He trialled very well 2 weeks ago, and you'd want to be seeing him finishing on very, very strongly.
Well, he was knocking very loudly on the door last spring.
Well, he ran second in the Spring Championship Stakes behind Magic of Sydney. Well, he's a miss, Magic of Sydney, and he ran second behind Portland Prince in the Derby. Or Portland Player, I should say. And Alpha runs second equal with him. Well, he's gone a miss. So there's not too many of the good 3-year-olds about.
You've got all that information in your head. You've got to worry about how Tiger Woods is going in the golf. You've got to get home to Sydney.
Tiger's on fire. Mind you, he bogeyed the last 2, I see.
Oh, did he?
I think he's 8 under, but...
I think he likes to do that just to make it hard for himself.
I think he will, when he's too good, the class will come through in the end.
Wouldn't mind a lesson.
I don't think he could teach us anything. We're behind. We haven't got that much improvement in us.
Good luck on Arcadia.
Thank you.
Good on you, Shane. Yeah. Good to see you. All right, now let's have a look at the market here at Queanbeyan, and this is race 5. All Solera is at, it's a scratching, 160 for Aussie Cozzy, pretty short. Did open at $1.10, 3.30 here's a bull, roll on by 12. Bridle Path 11.82 for Daring Lad. Tiuakana 12 and in from 26 and 133 for Young. Zika, race 5 at Queanbeyan, the Thunderbolt. One of the features here this afternoon at Queanbeyan on Cup Day. There they are behind the barrier there. Bright sunshine, around about 30 degrees here at Queanbeyan this afternoon. All right, we might take it back to Matt in the studio of Sky Channel in Sydney in that air-conditioned cupboard. Here's Matt.
Yes, it is pretty cool in here. Thank you, Nick. And by the look of that tote situation for that next race, Tay Queanbeyan has been pretty well tried. In terms of tote punters, might be a different story in the ring. That's where we're going next. Queanbeyan, they're behind the barriers there and about to move in for race 5. Aussie Cozzy 160. Now, Kilcoy race 5 in 5, 1 Untamed.
Yeah, good crowd here on hand to watch this first of the feature races, the Queanbeyan Leagues Club Thunderbolt. Number 1 El Solera's out. All the rage, Aussie Cozzy. She's won her last 2 starts in Melbourne at Sandown and Moonee Valley, and she has won at her only start here at the Queanbeyan track. Now, waiting on Aussie Cozzy, who's about to be let in now. The Queanbeyan Leagues Club Thunderbolt. And that will leave Bridle Path and Roll On By, who's resuming. Roll On By, resuming from a spell. Hasn't raced since the 9th of October last year. He's a Bull, trained by Frank Cleary, stands up. He's a Bull, races in the Clan O'Sullivan colours, the colours of Mr. Ken Jones Jr. And it was back in 1992 that Clan O'Sullivan won the Black Opal Preview and the Black Opal Stakes. And this year, of course, on Sunday, the 2nd of March, the ACT Racing Club is celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Black Opal, and big things are planned for that day. Now they're all in. For the Thunderbolt, stand by for a start. The line is set, 1,000 metres the journey. He's a Bull, drawn an inside gate. They're set. They're racing in the Thunderbolt, a good level start, and Aussie Cozzy exploded out of the gates and went to the lead, followed by Bridle Path, and He's a Bull down towards the inside. Further back behind those Daring Lad as they sort themselves out, followed by Teuakan, a break Roll On By, and Young Zeker's last of all. Now as they settle down and race up, they've got about 900 to go. Bridle Path has gone around the outside to lead now, leads by about a long neck, although joining it again Aussie Cozzy on the inside, and again Aussie Cozzy goes to the lead, about a long neck in front of Bridle Path, followed further back in the field, then He's a Bull. Daring Lad is next, a long break then to Teuakan, followed by Roll On By, and forget about Young Zeker, but around the turn Aussie Cozzy going very strongly. Aussie Cozzy leads, Daring Lad is running on the outside, running on was Bridle Path, and He's a Bull is coming down the outside. He's got to go for the whip on Aussie Cozzy. He's a Bull on the outside is coming with a run now, in between those Bridle Path, but Aussie Cozzy's giving plenty. He's a Bull is trying hard, but oh, she's too good, Aussie Cozzy, and Aussie Cozzy has won. He's a Bull second, followed then by Bridle Path third. Back behind those then in the field came Roll On By. The next one was Daring Lad, followed by Young Zeker and Teuakan as last. No, she's too good. Too good, Aussie Cozzy, ridden by Grant McCarthy, trained at Wagga by Greg McDermott. 3 on end now, as I said prior to today, one at Sandown and Moonee Valley. A grey mare 5 by Mr. C out of Aussie Blue, raced by PE and Mrs. E.J. Clark, and PK and Mrs. C.J. Allen. Aussie Cozzy first. And won very well indeed. They tried hard. He's a Bull on the outside. Took a bit of ground off Aussie Cozzy close to the line, and also Bridle Path battled on. So there's about a half a length or so at the finish, the winning margin over He's a Bull and Bridle Path in third place. Now the numbers are official, 235. Number 2, the winner Aussie Cozzy, ridden by Grant McCarthy, trained by Greg McDermott at Wagga Wagga. Now the second place getter was number 3, He's a Bull, trained by Frank Cleary at Queanbeyan, ridden by Glenn Boss, and third, number 5, Bridle Path, trained by Pat Quinn at Jugiong, Len Beasley. So the numbers after the Thunderbolt are 235, now 57.35, 57.35. We'll have more from the track in a moment.
Best mare in the region, Aussie Cozzy, making it a hat-trick of wins with today's Thunderbolt. Some nice trophies on offer too for the winning connections. Now Kilcoy is coming up next, the Valentine's Day Open handicap over 1,200. This favourite's got out a bit since we last looked. Our Civic Hope is now paying $2.20. Done a magnificent job with this filly, Aussie Cozzy. This mare, she's a 5-year-old mare now. 36 starts for 16 wins, 3 placings and 8 placings, 3 seconds and 5 thirds, so 8 placings. A model of consistency, this mare, a nice looking grey mare. And Grant McCarthy has been in the saddle for most of her wins too, including the Sandown and Moonee Valley wins. That's the colour from Queanbeyan Cup Day 1997. The Queanbeyan Cup comes up as race 8 on the program, and 5:10 Sydney time is the start time. Sponsored by Carlton. Great sponsors of racing all around Australia. They're moving in at Kilcoy for the 5th. Colac Totes, Capone.
That is it. In fact, it'll be at 10 minutes past 5 Eastern Daylight Saving Time. That'll be the Carlton City Queanbeyan Cup. And I do like the way they have their major race on towards the end of the day. It certainly builds up the excitement. Race 6 will be the first leg of the extra double in New South Wales, and it gets underway in around about, not long, about 5 or 6 minutes. The Eastern Australia Airlines Invitation Class 3 handicap, and the jockeys have just been introduced to the crowd. Eastern Australia, of course, have a great association with racing around Australia, and Susan Frater is with me right now, the sales manager from Eastern. How are you, Susan?
Very well, thanks, Nick.
Long introduction, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
I thought I'd get through it. It's hot, isn't it, today?
It is a lovely day in Queanbeyan, just lovely.
Well, you've had a great association, haven't you, with Queanbeyan and in racing in general, Eastern Airlines, haven't you?
In country racing in particular, this is actually the first day we've sponsored Queanbeyan, and we're very proud to be here. We look forward to a long association with them. But we do a lot of country racing in New South Wales.
Yes, Sky Channel, of course, gets those flights up to Grafton, Coffs Harbour, and, of course, to places like Port Macquarie. We love going there. And it's such an easy and economical way of getting around Australia, isn't it, around New South Wales?
The thing is that some places that take 6 or 8 hours to drive are only an hour away by air from Sydney, so you can be there and enjoy a full day's racing.
And you have specials on regularly too, don't you? So you can get to Canberra and back for sometimes $100?
Exactly, and in fact we really do, when it comes to country racing carnivals, we make an effort to make sure that punters can get up there.
So today, for example, you would have been on a Dash 8 back and forwards to Sydney?
That's right, yeah, a Boeing aircraft. It's a lovely little regional aircraft.
Fantastic. And you enjoy your work you're doing in the sales department there?
Yes, I do very much.
Have to say that?
That's right.
Have you had a look at the races today? Have you got a tip for us for the Cup?
Actually, for the Cup, I'm backing. I like Glenn Boss, the jockey, so I might follow him.
Jockey.
Yeah, I might follow him in the Cup. I think he's in the number 1, the New Zealand horse. Yes.
Right, yes. So he's got a good hope. Well, just Eastern, they just fly to just about everywhere. We've got places like Tamworth, Dubbo, Canberra, of course, Newcastle, Taree, Kempsey, Grafton, Coffs Harbour. You certainly cover plenty of territory.
That's right, yeah. And particularly with Canberra, 13 flights a day, so there's plenty of frequency.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, have you enjoyed the day at the races so far?
Very much so. 3 winners so far.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
Well, they'll snip you after the last.
No.
You've got to jump on a flight and get out of here as quick as you can.
Exactly, I'm out of here.
Susan, nice to talk to you. Thanks for your time and thanks for your sponsorship too.
Thanks, Nick. Thank you.
Okay, Susan Frater there with Eastern Australia Airlines. They have an invitation race for the jockeys. It's coming up next. Matthew, back to you.
All right, Nick, thanks for that. And we might update the latest market for the invitation. It's race 6 at Queanbeyan and the horses are at the stalls. Now, 370 Regalino, Strike at Riches scratched, Heavenly Horizon $13, Marimbula Flyer $2.70, Salis Mass 840, November Turf 13, Row of Gems 720, Sun Regent is $14. And Marimbula Flyer has more or less been favourite right throughout betting. And the rest are roughies. That's for race 6 at Queanbeyan, the Eastern Australia Airlines invitation over 1,000 metres. In fact, they're just arriving at the stalls there over at the 1,000 metre mark, so that would suggest we've got about 2 minutes before they're jumping away at Queanbeyan. Gives us time to update the market at Kilcoy. 8 Villa Flyer, the favourite for race 6 at Queanbeyan. Here's Tony.
She's the sales manager in Sydney of Eastern Australia Airlines, Sue Frater. In fact, Sue comes from our part of the world where I used to live. Sue's from Binnaway, out near Queanbeyan. Now they're all in. Stand by. Regalino stands up. Salis Mass, Maverick Madam, they're set. They're racing in the invitation. A good start with the exception of Salis Mass, who went back to the tail. And Sun Regent got away well in the showing speed. And driving up on the outside was Heavenly Horizon. In behind those, Bega Bell, followed by Row of Gems. Then Regalino back towards the inside. A break of about 2, November Turf. A long break, then Salis Mass by Alaboy. And Maverick Madam's along last. There's a fair turn of speed on as they race up towards the turn inside the 600. Sun Regent leads, almost joined by Marimbula Flyer, moving up on the outside. Heavenly Horizon is third, followed then by Bega Bell. Then Row of Gems followed further back in the field, Regalino. And the next one was November Turf, a long break, Salis Mass, and forget the rest. In the straight with about 300 to go. Sun Regent is the leader. Marimbula Flies trying hard. Heavenly Horizon. And here comes Regalino down the outside, putting in a big run now. Regalino raced up on the outside, put the head in front. Marimbula Flies battling on fairly well, but Regalino, November Turf is getting home late. Regalino, November Turf, they hit the line. Oh, it's a tidy. It's a close one. It's November Turf or Regalino. Now, third, I think, Marimbula Flyer, then Salis Mass. Row of Gems back behind those, Sun Regent, followed further back in the field. Then Maverick Madam and Bega Bell, Heavenly Horizon and Bayala Boy is last.
A photo finish and a good finish at Queanbeyan. That's the invitation. We'll come back and concentrate more on Queanbeyan soon, but Kilcoy are getting set for race 6. Mr. Chevelle's 170. In fact, November Turf has run thirds at its last 3 starts, but today was in the winner's circle with Harry Troy in the saddle. $14.90 and $3. Regalino 150 and Marimbula Flyer was a drifter and ran third, but still started favourite at 160. Quinella 22.10, exacta $58.80, and the trifecta was $181.30. So a fairly consistent galloper is November Turf, a winner today at a good price. That's race 6, correct weight. A jockey change in race 7, number 11 Foxy Dancer is going to be ridden by Jeff Penza. Race 7, number 11 is Jeff Penza. Moving in well at Casino, a field of 8 engaged in this race. We've got some more.
Yeah, nice prize money, isn't it? And there's the scene at Queanbeyan, $80,000 about to go down by the board in just over an hour from now. And Craig Carmody will be contesting that $80,000, $50,000 first prize on a horse called Certainly for Les Bridge. Good to see you. Craig, how are you?
Very well, thanks, Nick.
Haven't had a chance to say Happy New Year, Happy Christmas, all those sort of things, because It's been pretty busy, hasn't it? And you've been out too.
Certainly, yeah.
Certainly. Now, there's a topical tip. Mate, you've come back from injury all right?
Yeah, very well. You know, the legs healed really well. And
what was the extent of the injury, Craig?
I broke my left femur about 2/3 of the way down, and had a pin inserted from the hip down to the knee, screwed both top and bottom, and that was in for about 7 months. And, you know, it was fairly long wait, but it's really done tremendously well, the healing process, and happy to be back.
Craig, you're out for about 9 months or so. How does a jockey keep himself amused and keep his weight down and keep interested in race riding and all that sort of stuff when you're on the sidelines as badly as you were?
Oh, I kept maintained my interest in the game. I kept going to the races, you know, mainly of a Saturday, and kept in touch with all the trainers and so forth. And, you know, I still took an interest in it. Never leaves you. And, you know, as I say, it's just so good to be back into it.
Yeah. No worries with the weight?
No, I got up to about 54 when I was pretty much immobile in the early months of the injury, but as I started to get better and get about, I've sort of levelled out about the 53 mark, and since I come back, I've managed to get it down really well.
Well, you beat K&A on the inside track there on certainly last start, Craig, and certainly that puts the foot forward for a good performance today by this horse, certainly in this $80,000 race.
Yeah, that's true. Ran a nice race and slow going at Randwick, jumping up to 2,000 today.
Think that'll suit?
Well, it shouldn't worry him. He certainly kept getting to the line the other day. So he'll race in a fairly forward spot, and I'm sure he'll be breathing down their necks.
You ridden here before?
I have, yeah. Yeah, I rode here quite a lot as an apprentice here in Canberra, and so this track's quite familiar to me.
Les Bridge, of course, has put you on board today, and you're also doing a bit of riding for Ronnie Quinton, Craig.
Yeah. Since I've come back, both of them have been really supportive of me, and yeah, it's great to be linked up with two fellas that really know what they're doing. It's terrific.
And what about tomorrow? Have you got anything at Warwick Farm at all worth talking about at this stage?
Actually, I'm reunited with Intergaze tomorrow in the Hobartville Stakes, so I'm really excited about his chances in the upcoming autumn races, so fingers crossed.
Craig, he was to be the horse last year, wasn't he, to really burst through? Didn't quite do that, but this could be the season for him.
Yeah, he won a Champagne and done very well sort of last campaign, but I think this time mentally he seems to have come back really well, so I'm fingers crossed for big things for him.
Riding him in track work?
I rode him a bit in track work. I rode him in his trial last Friday, and he trialled very well and finished it off well, so I think you'll see a nice run from him tomorrow.
I better let you go, otherwise I'll have to stick a leg bag on you, mate. You'll lose too much weight standing out here.
Good on you, Nick. Thanks.
Good to see you, Craig.
No
Bye, mate. Craig Carmody there on board, certainly, for Les Bridge at Randwick. That race comes over 5:10. That's Eastern Daylight Saving Time. Thanks, Matt. Back to you.
Thank you, Nick. Our next race on Sky is still some 4 minutes away, so we've got this bit of a break between now and our next race. They're heading to the stalls at Colac. We're heading to a break. When we come back, Michelle rejoins us with some more racing news. Queanbeyan Race 7 in 4 minutes' time. Number 1, Strike It Rich at 360. The next two are scratchings. Me No Fly, 740. Bayview, 520. Then 640 for Slick Chick. Chin K, 21. Grattery, 970. Marinella's Gift, 10. Canberra at $21. So the toppy favourite, Strike It Rich, as we head into race 7 at Queanbeyan in 4 minutes' time. Now, of the others there, Foxy Dancer 18, Prince of Dads 19 and Swanky Doll at $90. And the selections from Tony, Strike It Rich, Bayview and Slick Chick 156. That's for the next at Queanbeyan. Now to make all the placings official at Colac on race 7, 1 ran Nathan Stanley. That's the Cup. Race 8, number 11, Hoist. A rough chance, but a good pickup for N Stanley. Here's the Cup. But race 7, here's Tony.
Thank you, Matt. Moving in well for this race, race 7. Just waiting on Swanky Doll. Chin K led up, and Marinella's Gift will be the last one. 2 to move in. 1,200 metres the journey. Marinella's Gift in those prominent yellow colours will be the last one. Now they're all in. Liners set. Strike It Rich favourite. Starter coming round. Now the line is set, race 7. The next one, of course, the big one of the day, the Cup. All in. They settle down. They're away now. Foxy Dancer was slowly away, and also Bacamba didn't jump all that well. Gratori got out quickly down towards the inside from Strike at Witch and Bayview, and then Slick Chick going up wide. In behind those Prince of Dad, Marinella's Gift, and not too far away was Chinkay as they settle down. A break behind those Swanky Doll, followed by Mino Fly, Bacamba, and last of all was Foxy Dancer. At the back, they've got about 7.50 to go. Gratori leads, doing it well. Strike at Rich is second. Up on the outside, 3 wide, Bayview. Off the track was Slick Chick, followed by Marinella's Gift, getting right up along the inside. A length or so, Prince of Dad's, followed by Chinkay. Bacamba gains ground, followed by Swanky Doll. Foxy Dancer's back second last, and Mino Flyers last of all. Up towards the turn, 425 to go. Gratori leads. Bayview moves up on the outside. Then Strike at Rich, followed by Marinella's Gift down